Hello, race fans, and we are back with another Race Face Driving 5 here on raceface.tv. Jacob Seelman back with Cole Denton on the other side of the screen, who, as everybody can see behind him, is fresh off a second weekend in a late model out on the West Coast. Cole, I know we're hyped about that. We'll get to some of your legend car conversation here in a couple minutes. I want to talk about the late model first. You got to go back out to California, work with Mike Nake again. This time, got to go to Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway to drive the junior late model, pro late model out there and picked up a couple of top five finishes. I know it was a super tough field because a lot of the Cars Tour West guys were in action. Walk us through kind of what happened over the course of the twin features you got to run and how you felt overall getting back in the late model.
I mean, it was really amazing. And just that track, it feels like you're rolling into a NASCAR track when you go through the tunnel and you enter the track. It's just amazing. And me learning the track on Friday and then practicing, doing mock runs and everything. And just we showed up on Saturday and we were really fast in practice and qualified top five. We qualified fifth. And there was a double header. That was I believe, the first time this season that they've done double features. And they said they're going to do that all next year also. So, two races, they were both 40 laps. The first race, I started fifth and finished fourth, and that was a really fun race and just getting to learn how it races. And then they did an eight-car invert, so I started fifth again. So, just like Madeira, where I started fourth and fourth, I started fifth and fifth. So, yeah. And then I moved up and I actually made a pass three wide on the outside in the marbles, and that was really crazy. But I passed them, and then a caution came out, and they put us all back in our spots right after that happened. And I was stuck in fifth for the rest of the race, but it was still really good, and I learned a lot from following the car store champion from last year. I was on his bumper the whole race.
I'm curious. Your first experience in the late model was at Madeira about a month ago now. What differences did you feel going to Kern, which is a bigger racetrack? You're able to carry a little bit more speed compared to your first experience in that car at Madeira.
I mean, it feels like a super speedway compared to Madeira, just because you're almost flooring it the entire time. And just that track, it feels like you're racing at like Echo Park Speedway or Kansas or something like that when you compare it to something on iRacing because how big it is. I mean, you're almost full throttle the entire way around the track.
What was the pit side experience like for you? With all those veterans in the pits, did you have? I know obviously when you've got somebody like Mike Nake in your corner, and some of the people on his team that you've already been able to lean on, you can learn a lot that way. Were you able to learn a lot, or maybe pick any brains of any of the veterans who were out there from the Cars Tour that were competing?
Definitely, and we were eating dinner on Friday night, and the car store champion that I was following the entire second race, he was sitting like two tables from us, so we talked to him for a little while
Nice.
also, and just learning a lot. And I will say this, the fans that were there just during the autograph session, it was really amazing. That was something that I've never had before, where there's 1,000 fans that walk down there and want your autograph.
All of a sudden, it feels like Cole Denton's branching out, maybe building a fan base out there, huh?
It sure did.
What has this last month been like for you? I mean, when you started this year, Cole, we really, we knew you were going to run the legend car a bunch, but I feel like even then you weren't sure maybe quite what the next step was. How do you feel now with a couple races under your belt and maybe starting to have a visual of this really could be the next step for your career?
I mean, it's really amazing. And just like 2 months ago, didn't even know I was going to race a late model. And then now I won my first late model race and finished top five in every one of them so far. And it's just, I think this is definitely the next step. And it's really amazing to learn a lot in in the late model for me.
What have you had to do differently as a driver? Obviously, it's a totally different feel compared to Legend Car. What kinds of things have you had to maybe adjust or learn as a driver, compared to what you've been so used to the last few years in the Legend Car?
I think the biggest thing for me, it's actually more like a Bandolero because of how the momentum is at a track like Kern County, and just learning in the late model and me being, I mean, you have to be super smooth on the wheel in the late model just because it has power steering, and the legend car it's so hard to turn the wheel. And then I get in the late model and Mr. Mike's like, you can't be doing that
Can't be
because
sawing at it, as they
yeah,
say.
exactly, it because it's a lot easier to turn the wheel, so you scrub a lot of speed when you turn it too much in the late model.
Understand that. Speaking of the Legend Car, you have gotten to do some of that over the past month as well. Had a race at Atlanta, had three features at Cordell, and oh, by the way, you're batting 1,000 over those four races. You won them all. I know for you, though, the coolest moment of that was the day at Cordell here recently, where you got to run both the Young Lions Semi-Pro combined feature and then got to also tag the tail of the Masters Pro feature and came from the back and won that too for good measure.
Yeah, there was a lot of cars in the semi-pro and Young Lion race, but I just stayed out front the entire race and won by a lot. But moved up, and Mr. Ken Reagan, he's like, "All right, top two is allowed to move up to run the pro and master race." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're doing that." So I moved up and started. I think there was 9 cars. I started ninth and just passed every car one by one and until I got to the lead.
What was that? What was that feeling like? Because I mean, obviously, when you talk about Pro Division competitors, that's the best of the best in Legend Car racing, and some of those guys, depending on where you're running, have done this for a long time. I mean, what was that like for you? All of a sudden realizing we're gonna win this race and beat a lot of heavy hitters.
I mean, it was pretty cool. Just I had a lot of fun passing everyone, and that's my favorite part about racing is getting to race and pass each other and that kind of stuff. And that was definitely really fun. Just moving up from the semi-pro race where I led every lap, and just it was really amazing to get to pass and race against those guys, and it felt really, really awesome when I was like, oh wow, we're actually gonna win this.
You're back at Cordell this weekend, but I know what you've really got your eyes on is coming up in about 3 weeks. You're going to head back to the West Coast, not for the late model, though, this time, but you're going to get a second stab at the Legends Asphalt Nationals, which you ran second in Young Lions last year to Keelan. But this year, with Asphalt Nationals being held out west at the Bull Ring, the short track at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I know Cole Denton is more hyped than just about anything you've done in a race car to this point. Why is the hype so real for Asphalt Nationals at the Bull Ring? Because I know you've never been there in person, but you've spent hours upon hours on that track in iRacing. And if I remember right, you told me at one point that that is your favorite track to run the Legend Car on iRacing.
It is. That's always been my favorite, and it's a lot of like Cordell. So the way the track is shaped and the banking and everything, the same size as Cordell. So I'm super excited just to go out there and get to run a lap on the bull ring because it's always been my favorite in iRacing for any car. It's just it. I'm so excited.
Is this one of those where, as soon as they announced where it was going to be this year, you looked at your mom and dad and were like, "We gotta go do this. We gotta go do this."
Oh yeah, I've been saying that since they announced it.
I know last year it was as you know, you never expected to be in the national championship picture last year and ended up finishing second in that when all was said and done. But I know how badly you wanted to win the race at Asphalt Nationals last year. Are you going, I don't want to say going in with a chip on your shoulder per se, but are you going in this feeling like I really want to get this one back, not just because it's the bull ring, but because we came so close last year?
I mean, kind of both, and I'm going out there to learn and stay humble and just, I mean. at a race like that, you just got to hope for a top 10. So, I mean, anything can happen, and it would be amazing to get a win. But I mean, of course, it's the goal, but it's really not my main goal.
Sure. No, understand it's a big balance. I mean, for those who maybe don't realize it, can you just speak to the competition level of what it's like at Asphalt Nationals compared to, say, a normal legend car race at Cordell, or even a Thursday Thunder race? Because I know you talk about Thursday Thunder being competitive, but Asphalt Nationals is taking that and multiplying it by about five.
Well, I mean, at Thursday Thunder, you have about 10 to 15 cars, and usually five of the national competitors, there's usually 10 that can win any point in time at a national event. And usually five of those 10 that are usually at a national event are at Thursday Thunder. So, I mean, you have about half the competition, but I mean, they're still the top competition drivers. Just you don't have as many of them. And you go to a national event, you're lucky to make it out of the B main because there's 50 cars trying to make the field.
Is Asphalt Nationals for you in a couple weeks? Is it about soaking up the experience a little bit too? Just kind of, I I know we haven't really spoken it in quite as many words, but this is kind of going to be about, yeah, if things go the way we hope it's going to go, this is kind of going to be your last hurrah in the legend car.
I mean, it kind of is, so I got to make it worth it. And we'll
Absolutely.
be back at Cordele. This is the last race at Cordele this year, and then I'm excited because I want to race the road course in the Legend car. I've never done it. So they added the schedule. They added two races, and one they're actually bringing back the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the old road course that they used to do in the infield. So I'm excited to run that
Nice.
and go to Atlanta Motorsports Park. And I've never raced there in the Legend, but that was my favorite road course in the Bandolero. So I'm really excited to race those two races.
I was gonna say, so you're getting to dust off some chops that maybe you haven't used in a while, turning left and right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Cole, I know you're excited just because it means there's a lot to do in the race car over the next month or so. I know to do a lot in the race car, it takes a lot of great people to put you in the race car. Shout outs, thank yous, and while you're at it, why don't we let fans know how they can keep track of your racing through your website and your social media as well.
Cole Denton Racing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and ColeDentonRacing.com.
And hit on those partners for us. Let's say thank you to all those people that make it possible for you.
My mom and dad, Raceface Brand Development, the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, No Evidence of Disease Foundation, and most importantly, God.
And let's throw Mike Nake in there too. His car's behind you. He's kind of important, just a little
Well, we
bit.
got 77 Speed Shop in the Legend car and Mike Nake Motorsports. They were really amazing and they did a great job on my car and they're super great and going to dinner with them and being at the track with them. They're really very professional and just a great team.
A lot of fun, Cole. We're excited to follow it all for you and keep fans abreast of what's going on. Appreciate your time, and we'll do it again here after Asphalt Nationals, and hopefully have a lot of great things to talk about.
Hopefully so.
That's Cole Denton, and he is rocking the Keep FOJ branding on the race car as well. Friends of Jacqueline Foundation on Facebook for more on that. As always, I'm Jacob Seelman. This has been another Race Face Drive in 5. We'll see you next time right back here on raceface.tv.